Alright, guys, Theory and Theology, what's up? So, this morning I came across this YouTube channel. I know a lot of people know about it already, but it's called Restless Ben. And he goes through a lot of channels. There's a lot of content that he kind of posts where he is responsible for, infiltrating and exposing cults. Now, one thing about him that I noticed, just from looking at the comments and from some, footage that he showed on his videos, I find it kind of interesting that he is, I don't know if he's shadow banned. I don't know what you call it, but it sounds like he has trouble getting episodes monetized. And I kind of wonder why. Like, I know there are other people who talk about cults. Like, maybe it's because his videos are a little prank-ish. I don't know, though. Like, I would think that, people infiltrating and exposing, you know, um, groups who are kind of deceiving people and, really causing harm. Like, I'm not saying, like, yeah, like, people can have weird beliefs and, like, be strange and have, like, weird kind of things, like, that you're like, that's kind of like a weird, belief, or that's like a weird practice, or that's like a really strange way of handling things. But it's totally possible to do that type of thing without being like doing illegal stuff, um, without lying to people. So the two, like his videos are kind of shorter, but he breaks up the um the topics into like little videos. And so he probably has, I don't know how much, maybe 30 minutes to an hour worth of actual content on like each site, I guess, or each cult. But he kind of doesn't use like the whole, like he doesn't use all of it at once. He kind of cuts it into like segments. Um it's kind of like, you know, high energy, just like a lot of cuts. So that's kind of what I think. If people don't really like the interview form and they prefer more like action oriented video footage of people like doing stuff, and just kind of like quick cuts and like kind of a little more like excitement, it's kind of maybe more for people who like that. Because I know a lot of times, the videos I see that talk about cults, it's usually people, and there's nothing wrong with it, but everyone has their preferences, like usually it's people kind of focused on, interviewing and long form content, which I know a lot of people like long form content. I like long form content because sometimes I'm like at the gym or driving or something and I just want to sit and listen or watch, like, well, not watch while I'm driving, but like sit and listen or watch something all for like a while. Like if something's 10 minutes, sometimes for me, like if I'm trying to like eat a meal and watch something or just kind of like chill, I don't really like having to like create a playlist or whatever just to like watch like 4 or 5 videos back to back. But that's just kind of me. It's a little bit of laziness. But yeah, I was like, let me not avoid his content. So there's this place that he went to called like McCamey Manor, and it's in, I think, Rancho Penasquitos in San Diego. It's supposed to be a haunted house. I mean, I'm gonna like spoil this, but I mean, I've never been. I kind of shot the video over to a friend of mine, and I was like, I never heard of this before. And my friend was like, oh yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never been. It's basically like forced exercise, like a boot camp slash almost. I don't really want to use the torture term. Like, I don't really know if that's really what it is, because people are signing up to do it, and I guess they can opt out if they want to. But I think they have to do all these tasks before they get into the horror house, and it's like, even once they get in, it doesn't seem pleasant. And I think they have people doing these events like live. Like, I think it's a live recorded event, and people tune in to watch people try to like finish the challenge before they can go into the horror house. And the horror house has, it doesn't sound like it's fun. It sounds like it's like people being trapped in boxes, claustrophobic kind of things. And from what I've heard, some people seem to say that they got traumatized by it. And then there was this other kind of cult where people were, I guess the thing about the McCamey Manor thing is like, I guess they got a deal coming up with like Hulu and some other kind of like popular movie companies, and so they're trying not to have a bad name. And so I think Reckless Ben has like some kind of a little there's like a lawsuit against him, but I don't know how valid it really is. And then there's this other like restaurant or deli or something. I saw that there's a video where there's like a lawyer who's reviewing some of that footage, where they're trying to look into the legal aspect of things, where they're like, it's not really legal, you know, you're not doing things the legal route or whatever. But yeah, I kind of noticed that. I saw that and I was like, I don't really know. I don't really know what to think. So I basically noticed that, and I was like, okay, you know. It wasn't like, you know, they have this it's like a, I don't know how to even explain it. It's like a restaurant that's kind of attached to like this whole living environment. I think people live there. It seems like they live there, and they have all these weird beliefs. So a lot of us, you know, people who come from like the Bible realm of studying religion and stuff, like a lot of us know about the term or the name Yeshua. You hear that a lot. Yehoshua, things like that. I think they believe in a god or something called Yahshua that's gonna come, but they have all these weird beliefs. They wear these weird like little like rope looking headband things, and there's something about child labor, abuse, forced working in this restaurant. Everyone's a part owner. It's weird. It's some weird stuff, man. And so he's kind of exposing them, but it's like, I don't understand how he's kind of getting legally reprimanded for exposing these groups, or getting like demonetized for exposing these groups. Like, there's just something I'm missing. There's something I'm missing that I don't quite understand. Because he's not. I just don't understand. He's exposing these groups, but he's, other than him like kind of joking around, like playing jokes, or like catching them in their lies and stuff, he's not really doing anything like to harass them or anything. So I don't really know. I mean, it is maybe bordering like, you know, like if people don't know they're on camera or something, I could maybe see that approach, how it's like, okay, like certain laws, if you don't know you're on camera and somebody's like coming to your religion or your cult or your you know, faith practice, and you know, has you and all your people on camera and stuff, I could kind of see how they don't really want just the practice of that going too far. But I don't really feel like it's that bad. Like, I understand how those prank videos can be like harassment and things like that, but it's like, I don't really know, because it's like they're already doing something wrong towards people. Like, they're already doing something bad, and he's getting them on camera and catching it. And so I don't know, maybe they're protected. I feel like I've heard that too, that a lot of cult groups seem to be somehow protected by the government, or have some kind of like legal protections, or some kind of just something that helps them to be able to get away with continuing to do what they're doing, either like some in with the police, the local police, or the local social services, and all these other local people. And that might go, I'm guessing that might go higher up, to where those people then are like, well, we're not taking the calls, or we just do, the paperwork as like protocol, but then like it never gets pushed through or something to like the courts or whatever. Like, I really don't know. Like, I'm just speculating, but I'm like, I could see, because I've heard about different religions, uh, having like political pull and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that that theory of mine is like too far off, even though I don't have any proof. I'm just kind of thinking on the fly about it. But yeah, there are so many corrupt systems in place, but I don't see what they would be benefiting out of it. Like, what would the government, what would the courts be benefiting out of these small groups? They're not even that big, and they don't really usually have a lot of, well, I don't know, maybe they do have a lot of money. Maybe they do make a lot of money off of it. Because if there's a money trail, that's probably what it is. Like, if they're like, they basically have their members working at this like restaurant or whatever for free. I think the number he came up with for all the members working is $12 million over the multiple years that those members had been working there. Um, that's the money that would be owed to, not to each person, but to, like, as a whole. $12 million is the amount of money that they have owed to them, that they didn't get paid out, because they were working for free for all these years, for all these hours, sleeping and then waking up and just working. And it's part of their religion, or part of their cult belief is, something about work. There's some other belief about virginity, and there's a lot of racism, like, and a lot of homophobia, and a lot of, they hate Jews, they hate blacks, they didn't really like the idea that he had a girlfriend that is Asian. I don't think he really had her as a girlfriend, but he kind of told them that. He kind of was like lying, saying, I don't know if he was lying, but he was telling them that he's a virgin. I don't really know how true that is or not. Like, I don't know the guy, but he kind of made them kind of go against some of their rules. That's kind of where I left off, is where they infiltrated this group. He and others, a lot of his friends, would have been more than, they would have been the majority. And so he said that there were some virgins club, and they all decided to kind of go and work at this restaurant, and then they were eligible to be owners. And because there were more of them than there were the actual cult people, those people outvoted them, saying that they don't want to have the rules anymore. And then the police got called, and the police were siding with the cult. And so they were kind of like trying to tell the other, like Ben and all the other guys, like, you got to go, like, you guys got to go, you can't be here. And they were going to get reprimanded for that. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think. I'm about to pull into the gym right now. So with that, thanks for listening.